Hi, I'm John Jacobs, Proud Business Manager with the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 494. Something new for 2026, we have scheduled interviews for at least once a month throughout the entire year where you'll have the opportunity to meet with Local 494 staff, the reps, the admin team, etc. So for starting today, we are joined by Assistant Business Manager Nick Campbell. Nick, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, John.
So Nick, paint us a picture, if you will, of right after high school. What did you do and how did you eventually get to Local 494?
I wasn't necessarily on the college track coming out of high school, and I grew up in a strong union family. My dad was in the building trades. He was a union sheet metal worker. So right out of high school, I took the one-year electricity program up at Moraine Park, where I had a chance to see if the electrical trade was really what I wanted to do. And throughout that process, I was working a job at a monument company of all things. And an electrician came in there to service some things that we had going on. There were some issues. And I started talking to him about how I was in this electricity program and I was interested in doing it. I ended up getting hired by that non-union electrical shop close to my house. Started working there, mainly doing residential, some light commercial type work. I moved from there to, as I got to know other people in the industry, I moved to another non-union shop, all at the same time while I was applying for an apprenticeship with the union. Back then it was taking people 2+ years to get into the apprenticeship program. Ended up becoming an ABC non-union apprentice. All in all, I worked about 4 years non-union in the electrical industry before ultimately getting my union apprenticeship in 2007. I was able, because I was an ABC non-union apprentice for roughly just under a year, I was able to test out of my first year of my union apprenticeship and start that apprenticeship as a second year and move my way through the apprenticeship program, ultimately becoming a journeyman wireman here in the union.
All right, so now you're in the field as a journey wireman. What was the pathway to get to the office then?
Yeah, so growing up in a strong union household, my dad was an executive board member of the Sheet Metal Workers Union. So growing up, I saw my dad being involved in the union since being a little kid. I went to Labor Fest, our annual labor holiday, union holiday here in Milwaukee. So I was around my dad being in the union and around him being a leader in his union. And so ultimately, I started coming to union meetings. I started being involved. Working those 4 years non-union really gave me perspective on what we have here at the union and how things are a lot different. And it was important to me to get involved in my union, be a part of the process, to make sure we continue to have those things and to make things better. So I ended up showing up to union meetings, eventually got noticed by the business manager at the time, John Bastaka, and that's when Renew was just getting started, and there was going to be a Renew meeting, which is the affinity group in the IBEW that they were trying to get started in regards to reaching out and engaging the next generation of electrical workers. It was targeted at the 35 and younger demographic, trying to foster the next leaders of the local and get that group started here in Milwaukee. So myself and 2 other brothers who were in that age demographic, who did show up to union meetings and things like that, were asked to go to this, and we ended up going to that. And out of that conference and that workshop that day, we came back, and me and those 2 other brothers were the basis and the start of our Renew group here in Milwaukee. I started kind of leading it at the time, which gave me an opportunity where I was showing even more involvement in the union and getting up, and we started with some activities, things like that, and ended up getting appointed to our executive board. And shortly thereafter, within that term, there was some other movement on the board where I ended up being appointed as the chairman of the executive board. Ultimately, I got asked by Dean Warsh and appointed by Dean Warsh to be a business representative.
Okay, so you've been through a lot, right? Let's recap. Apprenticeship, got asked to attend Renew. From Renew, it's the executive board, and now we're at the point of business rep. About how many years were you a business rep before the transition you were asked to become the assistant?
Yeah, so John, I've been in the office here in March of 2026. It'll be 10 years. First got brought in as an organizer, was an organizer for roughly the first 6 months to a year. Then my duties shifted to being a business rep. And then in 2023, when you became business manager, after formerly being the assistant business manager, you asked me to come on and be your assistant, which I graciously accepted.
So, given that timeline from apprenticeship all the way to assistant business manager and everything in between, what do you think brought you the greatest joy? Anywhere in between there.
Yeah, so what this job is for me and what it means to me is every day I get to wake up, go to work, and make a positive impact or help somebody in their life. It can be as simple as a phone call from a member that has a question about the contract or about their benefits, to being a part of or leading a negotiating team through a negotiation of a contract, getting them a fair increase and fair contract, all over the place. You know, this is the greatest job that I have ever had. And I enjoyed being an electrician and working in the field too, but the opportunity to come to work every day, work for IBW Local 494 and serve the members here, it truly is the greatest job I could have, because I also get an opportunity to talk to future members and talk to people about the perspective that I have from working non-union to union and what we have to offer here and how it potentially could improve their life. There's no more joy than helping people and being able to do that every day and make a positive impact and help somebody. It's a great job.
So using the same, context of, apprenticeship all the way through everything you've done up to assistant business manager, what do you think was or is the most challenging part about that you've experienced?
Off the top of my head, I really can't think of like one challenge that marks up to be the top or the most challenging part. This job is extremely challenging. It's constantly throwing different challenges at you. It could be a tough negotiations that you're working really hard to represent the members and try and get them a fair contract, to dealing with members who are going through some personal things in their life that you need to have that empathy and compassion and help them navigate some things that are happening. We always joke because, after you feel that win or that victory of that whatever challenge you were working on, you celebrate it that day, because tomorrow when you wake up and you come to work, there's either challenges still waiting there that you knew about, or there's going to be a new challenge for you. So it can be extremely challenging. It's also very rewarding. With those challenges, we continue to rise to the occasion every day. All of us here, including myself in the office.
So let's get away from work.
Okay.
How about personal life? Family?
Yeah, so family, John, I wouldn't be able to do this job if I didn't have a support system at home. That starts with my wife, Liz, who I've been married to, going on this year, it'll be 14 years. She really takes care of a lot of things at home, because this job does take me away from my family a lot with late nights or travel or different things that come up. And she really holds things together at home and really allows me to be able to do this job, to serve the members here at Local 4. And I have two beautiful, smart daughters, Brianna, who's 11, Mia, who will be 7 here, coming up here in February. We're at that stage of life where we're tracking them around, trucking them around to all their different things that they're involved in, and we always look forward to our yearly family vacation up north at a lake that we take with my parents and take that time. So.
How about hobbies? You got any hobbies?
Yeah, actually, I have a lot of hobbies. So, growing up in Wisconsin, I really enjoyed deer hunting, especially bow hunting. With my best friend from high school, he has a place up north that I've had the privilege to be able to go to for a number of years. I enjoy that. Through some of the brothers here at Local 494, I've been involved in our trap shooting league here for a while. They got me into shooting, and to the point now where I'm into semi-competitive sporting clay shooting pretty heavily. It's something I get a lot of enjoyment out of in my free time. But yeah, those are just some of my hobbies. I always find something to do. So.
So as we wrap up, Nick, what do you think is something unique that maybe most people watching this would not know about you?
One thing that's unique about me is if I had a superpower, what I would say is my memory. I've been known to have a pretty good memory. It's not perfect, but I can tend to retain things. As I get older, it's getting a little less, but for the most part, I retain things at a pretty high level with my memory, and it serves me well. So.
It reminds me of our former international vice president, David Rumkorff. He too, a person that you haven't seen for a year or two, just like that, can recall your name and say, hey, how's it going, and knows about your family, etc. So I can attest to what you're talking about. So with that, certainly I appreciate you taking the time again, Nick, for being here. And with that said, thanks for watching. Be safe out there. We look forward to seeing you the next time.